Hey everyone, today we chat about a Hellish story. The class president loses it in frustration, face slides down suddenly, then he's defeated. The class president, dazed, collapsed onto the floor. On waking, he was tied in the basement, like a horror film's opening. Suddenly, a guy in a bunny mask strolled over, holding a kettle, and shockingly started stuffing his blades into the class president's mouth. Talk about bizarre. Then this villain pours a whole kettle of boiling water down his throat, making the class president experience what true water torture really is. Meanwhile, his girlfriend is anxiously waiting at the beach, clueless about the chaos. She starts searching for her boyfriend alone but to no avail. When she tries to call, there's no signal with the tragic plot twist. The surroundings look eerie, making the vice president uneasy and deciding to bail. As he turns the corner of the stairs, he accidentally spots a painting of a little bunny, as if it's hinting at some impending doom. Entering the bedroom, he sees the puffed up blanket, thinking his boyfriend's napping. After calling with no reply, he feels something's wrong. He lifts the blanket, only to find a pillow with a bunny mask on it. What a shocking discovery. Suddenly, a hand pops up beside the bed, shocking him. What are you doing? He thinks, but ends up kidnapped into the basement. Seeing his blooded boyfriend, he's shocked, frozen, grabs the mask, and charges with a stapler to fix it. The vice president bravely pries his boyfriend's eyes open and staples his eyelids down. Talk about a horrific and chilling scene. At this point, the trumpet player is inundated with terrible memories, feeling smothered by them. In an effort to regain control, he gulps down a bottle of calming potion like he goes out for air to avoid disturbing others, while Xiao Feng, in pain, can't sleep and numbs himself with alcohol. Finally, his repressed anger explodes, and Xiao Feng storms into the teacher's room, ready to unearth the scars of the past. With tears streaming, he spills out years of struggles, saying if the teacher hadn't been cruel, his life wouldn't be so tragic. But just as he was about to approach the teacher, someone suddenly passed by the window. It was the masked man. Xiao Feng sees him outside and freaks out like a cartoon character, running into the nearby bedroom only to realize he's trapped in panic. He bolts into the woods, feeling like something sinister is right behind him. Spoiler alert, he's right. When Xiao Feng opens his eyes again, he finds himself locked in chains, covered in poison ants, which makes him the tragic bug in an ant nest. All he can do is scream in agony, waking up our friend Xiao Yu upstairs. Xiao Yu grabs the flashlight, heads down to the basement, and nearly trips and fights when turning the light on. Meanwhile, Xiao Hao and Xiao Mei at the beach hear his screams. Without a second thought, Xiao Hao dashes toward the basement, while Xiao Mei hesitates, unsure whether to follow. At this moment, Xiao Yu is frozen in fear, unable to explain anything to Xiao Hao, just shaking his head like a bobblehead. In a fit of rage, Xiao Hao deduces that it's all Xiao Yu messing around, claiming she's been torturing everyone like a witch in a black cloak. Suddenly, Xiao Mei slams the basement door shut, her determination as strong as someone ready to run for office. Then she rushes off to the teacher's room to handle the situation. She finally removes her sunglasses, revealing her altered eyes, saying, "Teacher, it's not safe here," chilling everyone. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu and Xiao Hao in the basement find a shovel. They wield it like treasure hunters, smashing their way through a wooden door to escape. Bursting into the teacher's room, they find the door wide open, only to realize there's nothing inside but a pair of glasses, leaving them puzzled. Xiao Yu instantly feels something's amiss, hastily pulls out his phone to call the cops, only to discover there's no signal. Talk about hitting rock bottom. He grabs a flashlight and glow stick to save the teacher, unaware Xiao Mei has shoved the teacher to the cliff's edge. Xiao Mei continuously pleads with the teacher not to do this, even shedding tears in the process, yet she remains utterly unfazed. Her mind is clearly made up and unwavering. In the nick of time, Xiao Yu lunges at Xiao Mei, and they start a brawl for the ages. Xiao Mei fights back, angrily choking Xiao Yu, who heroically grabs a stone and crashes it down like a champion. Oops. Xiao Mei accidentally falls off the cliff. Xiao Yu breathes a sigh of relief, having saved the teacher. A big weight off his shoulders. Just as they lock the doors and windows, Xiao Hao shows up out of nowhere and knocks Xiao Yu out. Talk about a chaotic encounter. Xiao Hao tosses the teacher into the basement, yelling, "Look. This is all your fault. Oh, come on. This is all the evil you sowed in your youth. Stop pretending already." Xiao Hao snaps, dousing the teacher in gasoline, ready to perish together when a dark figure strikes fatally. Xiao Hao spots scissors, leaps forward, stabbing the masked man in the neck. But to his shock, the masked man yanks his eyeball viciously, and he too stops struggling in pain. What a tragic ending. Witnessing it all, the teacher is heartbroken, crying out her son's name, oblivious that she just revealed the masked man's true identity. Suddenly, Xiao Yun appears with a giant stool to smash the teacher, but Xiao Yu timely stops her. Even though Xiao Yun drops the stool, her furious gaze can't be hidden. Sometimes life is more painful than death. Can you feel it? And that wraps up Xiao Yu's story. After listening, the police quickly alert their colleagues, getting ready to arrest Xiao Yun. But wait, wasn't she supposed to be dead already? When they arrive at Xiao Yun's place, it looks like it's been abandoned, forever dusty and forgotten. In the back of the house, they spot an old lady sitting in a chair surrounded by candles. It looks like a mysterious ritual. However, as the officers get closer, they realize the old lady has long since passed, turning into a mummy. It's clearly a cold case from long ago. As they step into another bedroom to investigate, they find a trove of jewelry and clothing for girls, causing them to shiver slightly. It dawns on the officers, could Xiao Yun be a hidden girl?